What? I stand up for equal key rights, so this is not.
Hi, turns out I'm not doing an actual voiceover because I'm very tired. Yeah, that's a really good excuse, Erin. Anyways, enjoy the rest of this video even though it's gonna be hella boring. The most well-known texts among the Dead Sea Scrolls are the ancient religious writings found in 11 caves near the site of Qumran. Discoveries from additional sites yielded mostly documents and letters, especially papyri that had been hidden in caves by refugees from wars. While some of these writings survived as nearly intact scrolls, most of the archive consists of thousands of parchment and papyrus fragments. The scrolls contain significant religious literature. There are two types: the biblical and non-biblical manuscripts. The biblical is in today's Hebrew Bible, and the non-biblical was religious writings circulating during the Second Temple era, often related to the texts now in the Hebrew Bible. While Hebrew is the most frequently used language in the scrolls, about 15% were written in Aramaic and several in Greek. About 230 manuscripts are referred to as biblical scrolls. These are copies of works that are now part of the Hebrew Bible. They already held a special status in the Second Temple period, and were considered to be vessels of divine communication. Evidence suggests that the scrolls' contemporary communities did not have a unified conception of an authoritative collection of scriptural works. The idea of a closed biblical canon only emerged later in the history of these sacred writings. Among the scrolls are partial or complete copies of every book in the Hebrew Bible, except the Book of Esther. About a dozen copies of some of these holy books were written in ancient Paleo-Hebrew. The Qumran cave scrolls preserve a large range of Jewish religious writings from the Second Temple period, including parabiblical texts, exegetical texts, hymns and prayers, wisdom texts, apocalyptic texts, calendrical texts, and others. Scholars agree that some of this literature was valued by large segments of the Jewish population, while other works reflect the beliefs of specific subgroups. There is disagreement, however, about many other aspects of these texts, including which communities are represented and how those communities may have interacted with one another. A quarter of these non-biblical manuscripts are labeled sectarian, and are composed of material that seems to reflect the life and philosophy of a specific community.